I like your boots.
Thank you.
I also I like your house. I appreciate you letting us be here.
It's
Second
very
time.
nice to be here. It's really awesome to be part of the Oxford Sessions.
We've done this before. I'm just gonna ask you a couple the same questions. I'm gonna ask you something you've never heard of.
Okay, ask me something I've never heard of.
To start?
Yeah, give me something I've never, ever heard of.
Well, not that you haven't heard of, but something you haven't heard me say.
I was getting a little excited.
But let's start that way.
Okay.
I need you to rank these three. Okay, in order of importance, or however you see it.
Okay.
Springsteen, Elvis, Dylan.
Ooh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, how do you rank the Trinity? So, it's like ranking water, ice, and vapor. I can't do that. I have to say, I love Springsteen for his stories. I love Elvis for the man. And I love Dylan for his music, songs, his words.
Do you get certain things from each one? I mean, is it like
Yeah.
you live like Elvis? You get your words from.
Yeah, I definitely have a particular input from each one. Elvis, I just grew up on Elvis, so he was the beginning of it all. It's probably the reason I picked up a guitar in the first place. I was always drawn to that 50s kind of music, and so the more I got to know, the man and what he was about and his journey through the world, it just really started to, there's lessons in Elvis Presley, so. But with Springsteen, I used to have this reoccurring dream that Springsteen and I would be sitting at a coffee house or a bar or something. I haven't had this dream in a long time, but yeah, we used to. It was almost like a father figure kind of thing. But Springsteen's his rock and roll, from his stories to his the way he has held himself, through this rock and roll career that he's had. It's pretty admirable, and so he and I have, I guess when I see it, at least according to the conversations we've had in my dreams, we see eye to eye on many things. So Dylan, though, I'll never forget the day I first heard a Dylan song, because that's probably the point at which I started actually putting words to what I was dealing with, as a kid growing up. So Dylan reached into my soul and found a voice in my head. So yeah, each one of those inspirations comes with a certain kind of from a certain perspective, certain angle.
Good question.
I forget which book it was because I didn't actually ever take any lessons. So I guess I just taught myself. I went into I think it was a pawn shop actually, and picked out a 12-string guitar and figured that's what I would learn on, like I do most things in life, the hardest way possible. Didn't really ever have a teacher in terms of the mechanics of playing, but a lot of my early songs were absolutely poised after some of the way Dylan wrote. I get that a lot when I play live. People would tell me, "Sound a lot like Bob Dylan." I'm like, "Thanks." Dylan. Well, through the I've been playing for 20 years now, I guess, and I really do love playing live. It's been a while, so my journey as a live musician ranged from living room concerts to playing full live bands all across the eastern coast area. So whenever I put my first CD out, put together a band, and we were playing quite a bit. So I was a full-time musician at the time. But that was in 1999, the year 2000. I think that's about right. So we stopped playing live to record the second album, and then never played again. So since then, I've been navigating that path that most artists do with, work and my art form. And so the last 5 to 10 years has not seen me playing nearly as much. I played quite a bit in Australia when I was living out there. But certainly the last 5 years, my performing has dropped back, and I've been, and the last year I've been recording mostly. So now I could say that I'm certainly more of a studio musician. It's just kind of all framed up in such a way that I've had 2 or 3 albums in my bag of tricks for a while now. The stars just were in alignment with the position I was in the Netherlands to work out with the studio over there. So we're just pumping out 2 or 3 albums back to back. So it's been quiet on the front for about 5 years until now. Oh, definitely. I go with the concept album approach. The question of when I do I put together albums, you know, just as a group of songs or as a story of songs, and I've gotten more and more lean on what songs go together for a given album. So these next 2 or 3 are absolutely concept albums. I like that old approach where albums were stories. You know, the album itself was a journey, a trip that you went on. Well, I actually wrote the song first, and then came back with it and did that whole preaching kind of church service type of motif to start it out with. But the song itself was written at a place where I felt like I needed to take control of my position in the world, and I guess you could say that I went through, you know, I go through cycles, and I was at a place where I felt like a victim, and I just made a real conscious decision to take life in my own hands. And it's growing up as a Southern Baptist, that church service, kind of that community of worship, has always been a deep part of who I am. And although I don't participate in the Christian church anymore, I still look for that arena, if you will. So My Own Hands was absolutely something that I felt like I had to cross the line, and it really was something I felt like I needed to share, that other people could join in on. So after I wrote it, I kind of started playing around with that whole church service thing. Actually, Springsteen was probably an inspiration for that too, because in a couple of tours back, he used to do a lot of that kind of the Church of Rock and Roll kind of thing. So I tried to play around with it a little bit and see if, I don't know if it works out or not, but it's fun to do. Yeah, I got a joke for you.
Let's do it.
Okay, a man walks into a bar with a fish on his head. The bartender says, "What can I get y'all to drink?" The fish says, "Water." That's my 3rd grade joke. My name is Johnny Blackthorn, and this has been my Oxford Session.